Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, and then when you get your medals, get your belt, what happens? It's just another tool. It's a tool within the tool. The tournaments and the belts and the medals are tools within Jiu Jitsu, which is a tool for life. So assigning your self-worth to a tool is like, okay, it's just like saying, okay, I'm gonna assign my self-worth to this wrench.
Yeah.
I am as good as this wrench. That's my worth. You know what I mean?
Easy on the people out there who just wrench. I used to work on cars a lot, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But if you think, if now the mechanic thinks that, you know, their life worth is about the wrench, then that's problematic.
Okay.
It's just equivalent to a jiu-jitsu competitor.
Okay.
Put their self-worth, their life's worth towards a piece of metal.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is, you know, really, I actually threw some of my medals away, even gold medals and whatever, because I was like, I want to make this symbolic. I don't recommend you do that, but for me, it was good for me at the time, because it's like, I don't want to assign my self-worth to this medal, even though it was an accomplishment, it served its purpose. I'm ready for the next. So I'm going to let this go. I'm going to make an effort of letting this go, throw it in a garbage somewhere. Wow. And I'm ready to release that so I can become, not be attached to that which was, but to become that which I'm aspired to be.
Yeah. So
you just kind of, you know, let go of this accomplishments. So that's not who you are. So that goes back to our initial conversation, right? Like, we are not our thoughts. Because the thinkingness is going to say, oh, I'm not good enough if I lose.
Okay.
You know, I am not worthy. I am not good enough. And I can't learn anything. People have really negative self-thought, and that affects their emotions. Affecting their emotions, and then now they can't perform in Jiu-Jitsu, they can't grow in life. Because Jiu-Jitsu is just a metaphor for life. So the value is not in the medal. It's not about the outcome, but it's really about the process of becoming.
Oof. We're about to end it right there. No, dang. So how have you used all of what you learned to help you out in life?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have had to learn a lot about myself.
Okay.
So the whole process of Jiu-Jitsu is also a process not only of growth, but of self-knowledge, self-knowing, self-awareness. Right? So some people even equate Jiu-Jitsu to therapy. Some people say like that. Jiu-Jitsu saved my life. I can really say that. Jiu-Jitsu did save my life. And for one thing, you're in a sport and you're not doing stupid things outside of Jiu-Jitsu to be able to perform. So when you do a sport, usually you're not drinking and getting wasted and doing drugs and staying up late in bars and whatever the heck. You're kind of having more, you know, focus on nutrition and sleep and training, and like that is a huge value right there for a lot of people. So that in itself. But then there's the whole self-awareness of your thinking, of your thoughts and all that. And then I came to realize that I was really unhappy in my previous marriage. I felt really trapped. It was a trap that I created, right? And that marriage, I was married for 16 years.
Oh, 16?
16 years, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that marriage, it served me to show me the unhealed aspects of myself, unhealed aspects of myself that needed to be worked on, that needed healing, that needed attention, that needed work, basically, inner work. So I didn't grow up in a mindset with a family that it was into really inner work and personal growth and stuff like that. I mean, we kind of had some of the books, but we didn't, you know, some people call it self-help.
Okay.
Self-help instead of self-help.
Okay.
You just buy all these books, you just put them in the shelf, and then you never read them.
Oh, okay.
So we had definitely a lot of self-help growing up. All these awesome books. So I would kind of pick up. So I did get influenced. Sometimes I would kind of browse through them as a kid, as a 10-year-old. And some of who I've became is due to some of the books that, you know, my parents had around. But they weren't really practicing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like to have the book is one thing. You know what I mean? Like to read the book's different, right?
Yeah.
So you have the power of now, right?
Yeah.
So to actually read it, like
You have to actually take action too.
And then
go.
Yeah.
This is a nice smelling book. Okay, cool. I'll put it down. Or you'd be like, and then you're just like, oh, I knew this, but how it's being said now, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's making sense now.
Yeah, and we always change. You can read the same book over and over, and then
yes.
you know, like a later time, and then you learn it a different way
Yes.
because you've changed.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so yeah, we had all these books, but my family didn't really have this mindset of personal growth and this and that. So what happened? I had to learn for myself. So the way life does that is your past traumas tend to reoccur.
Okay.
And they recreate. So my parents, they were divorced, and it was like very tumultuous. They fought even before they were divorced, and I kind of grew up in an environment that wasn't very harmonious.
Okay.
So that is imprinted on my psyche. So because that didn't heal and that didn't get processed, I carried that on forward into my relationship. You kind of project what you have in you, unhealed aspects of you. You project that into other people, in other relationships. You kind of bring your baggage, basically.
Yeah.
People call that baggage, right? So I had emotional baggage from the trauma of my childhood, of like the issues my mom and dad had, and the how I felt in there, and you know, all that stuff. So I recreated it. So I'm taking responsibility. I'm not saying, hey, my ex this and that and the other. Sure, he had his things. He had his own, you know, pain that he was dealing with. But the interaction, right? So he was holding a mirror. So I could see my own pain, my own suffering, my own needs, my own aspects that need healing. So I'm very grateful, actually, to my ex and to my previous marriage, even though I was the one who had to break out of it due to, you know, various reasons that I wanted to grow. When I met him, I was one person. I was 19 years old.
Okay.
He was 34.
Oh, okay.
I was from Brazil. He was from the US. You know, just very different. And then as I grew into myself through through Jiu Jitsu, through the confidence of, you know, winning tournaments and getting stronger and this and that, I didn't start accepting certain things that I used to accept before and not say anything. And then now I'm more like, now I'm more combative too. Can you imagine, right? So I went from like a you know, 19-year-old girl that could barely speak English, you know, and he married that, to like now I'm a woman, you know, I'm 30 years old, you know, I'm going to college.
Nice.
And I am, you know, changing belts and winning tournaments and all those kinds of things. So now I'm not even the same person.
That's awesome.
I couldn't even verbalize before just because of the language.
Wow.
And then I couldn't verbalize what was going on just because I just didn't have that model to me from my mom. Like, it's kind of like you just kind of swallow things and you just kind of, you know, stuff it in and you suppress and repress your emotions. You don't deal with the problems as they come. I didn't know. It's a skill. It's a life skill, right? Communication.
But you,
I didn't have that.
but yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It's, yeah, you have to speak up.
Exactly.
And it's hard for whoever, okay, I would say like for me, it's hard to, if you're not in certain things in life, in certain spots in life. Oh, if you're being if you're being spoken if you're being spoken to in a certain way, you aren't sure that's even going on until it happens. And then you're like, oh, this is what's going on. And then you have to change, but there's a lot of people who don't change. Like me, for a while, that I was like, oh, I can't speak to whoever because I have speech problem. Okay, here it's just like a happy place.
You can experiment and try different things too. Some people try to compete. I didn't know that either before. To compete in a training and try to win in a training, but then you're not learning anything. You're just doing what you already know to beat people. So that's the wrong mindset. The mindset of like, let me try things that I'm not good at in training, even if I get past, even if I lose, so that I am actually trying to use the techniques that we just learned.
Yeah.
So, you know, like there's all these subtleties that you have to learn as you go, like, right?
Yeah.
Am I here to win? Am I here to learn? Like, what am I trying to do?
Both. You're trying to smash. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
it is both. So,
yeah.
but it's like you have to be able to not just stay in one lane. You have to experiment.
Yeah.
Sometimes you win and lose. You can't just win all the time. Nobody does.
Yeah.
You win and you lose, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody starts winning all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you start like, you know, silver medal.
Yeah, you're getting
this and that.
Yeah, you're getting.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, that I got smashed up. I get smashed up still.
Of course.
But you know.
So we're talking about like that communication thing and not sitting on things and just kind of letting them, you know, grow. So dealing with the problems as they come. So I didn't have that skill, so that created problems, you know, too, in a relationship. And then, you know, my ex also didn't know how to be super, you know, calm in explaining things or dealing with things. So his anger would kind of trigger my resentment, and it's just like, it just got bad.
And it was kind of butt heads, and then you were like,
it just didn't really. I'm like,
I don't need this in my life.
This is starting to look like a lot like my parents' stuff, and then I started doing my process of, you know, jiu-jitsu. I started doing therapy. I started doing meditation.
Therapy?
And oh yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. No, look, she's like, no, I think we all knew the need therapy. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm a therapist, you know that? Did you know that?
I did. You got stuff you're doing. You're this, you're that, you're this. I'm like, that's awesome. No, it's super cool.
Well, the process, right? The process is like, okay, I went through all these painful things. I had to grow and come out of it. And like, I had to go face the, you know, I'm going to have to break out of this relationship. Do I stay because it's safe? Do I stay for the kids? Do I stay because it's comfortable? Or I break out of it and go like live my life the way I want to live? Or do I stay in and live miserable for the rest of my life for I don't know what, for somebody else's sake? And I'm like, I think I'm gonna choose to go.
Yeah.
So, and I really don't regret it. I mean, I don't recommend it for everybody. Every situation is different. And I believe in marriage. I believe in staying with one person. And especially if it's a healthy relationship that both people respect, even if there's conflict, there is gonna be conflict. If there's no conflict, then something is wrong. Because in a conflict, we respect. Conflict, we respect. You can grow. It's just like jiu-jitsu. It's conflict with rules.
Yeah.
You're gonna, you know, it's a confrontation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, okay, let's go. But in that conflict, in the relationship, one man sharpens another.
Yeah.
Right? So that was my process. So I because of the pain of my childhood trauma, because of the pain of my relationship trauma, I had to, you know, I got a divorce. So that's another, you know, situation. It's kind of traumatic, you know, because now what? I didn't have any family here.
That's right.
I didn't have, I didn't really have an education when I was contemplating it. I didn't have a college degree. And I just was gonna have to go support myself, you know, like he didn't work and things like that. So I had to really figure it out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to school and things like that. So I'm still in the process of like healing from all of that. And in the process of my healing, I've learned a lot. I've done So jiu-jitsu, I've done mindfulness, meditation. I think spirituality is a huge part of it. Therapy, you bet. I've done a thing called the Hoffman process in Northern California, which is a 1-week process that you go and you kind of dissect all the negative traits that come from mom, that come from dad, and then you learn to forgive them, and then you die. There's a death ritual in which you imagine, what's going to happen in your deathbed. What if your parents die? Imagine your parents die, and then they actually went, there was like candles and dark and funeral music playing, and that was serious. It's like they died. And then I'll go in nature and go cry and put their picture and say your last words. So facing death and facing this process of dying and death, it's like how you can really live your life for real, because that's gonna happen, you know? And we just kind of try to ignore and push that back and not give the credit that it deserves, but to really live a fully fulfilling life, you have to account for that. Who do I wanna become, and what do I want people to say after I die? What kind of contribution, right? And then go back and then go start doing that now. Don't leave that for when you're 80. You know what I mean? It's too late.
It's too late, because you'll have hurt knees, you'll have snapped hips, and you'll be like, a
lot of regret. People have a lot of regret dying because they didn't do what they supposed to be doing in the first place.
Wow.
So I went to this process. So put yourself in uncomfortable situations. It's uncomfortable to do the psychotherapy work, the therapy work. To sit in meditation. At first, it was I almost had panic. Like I felt like something was gonna going crazy inside of me just to sit and still and breathe.
Wow.
How weird is that?
Yeah.
Right? I had to really educate myself. And of course, learning, reading, going to seminars. I've done also ayahuasca healing ceremonies. So I've done to the process of I call entheogenic, which is within a church, right? The Church of the Santo Daime. We actually have legal precedent to be able to do ayahuasca ceremonies in the U.S. legally with the ayahuasca medicine.
Okay.
So this is a process of drinking this medicine. It takes into a place in which you do die. You die to your ego. You do go through a process of dying and death, and then just kind of facing your defects. You drink the medicine, right, to see your defects. But then now they're so vivid and so apparent in your face, right? And then also a process of emotional expansion, because most people are disconnected from their emotions. So the plant medicine work, the ayahuasca ceremony, and everything that goes with it, the spiritual container, not just drinking the medicine, but the spiritual container of it facilitates for your emotional healing, for your crying, for your purging, for you to really go into the weeds of what's really sad about your childhood, what was really sad about your relationship, and what is your part in it, how you contribute to that problem, to that mess, instead of blaming everybody else. Oh, it's my ex fault. It's the government fault. Oh, it's the...
Don't get me started. Yeah, you have a lot of people into that stuff.
Right, so that's victim mindset versus, hey, I am taking responsibility, and then I created the warrior champion mindset. The warrior champion. What is to be a warrior champion mindset? Now your goals are not just about you, right? Now you're kind of embodying ancestor, lineage of warriors. Everybody going back is either African or I don't know, Norwegian or Vikings or something, Aztecas or something in you, in your DNA right now that can be activated. Ooh. You're activating your warrior.
Okay.
Yes. So that is the work, to activate that warrior energy that's going to take you away from apathy and what people have, anxiety, depression, and victim mindset into a different paradigm. A paradigm of I will succeed, I'm going to do the work, I'm going to do whatever it takes. That's the warrior mindset. I'm going to do whatever it takes. If I have to train twice a day, every day for this goal, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to complain that somebody else does. I'm gonna drill at home, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, right? Maybe I need to do sprints 4 a.m. in the morning because I can't train today or whatever, So people do whatever it takes. And then that's how you activate that warrior energy. So you're not just fighting for your goals and for your purpose, but the warrior will actually face death and will put their life on the line. That is to be a warrior for a greater cause. Like, are you willing to die for something? Right?
See her? She's a star. Look at it. Oh my! I'm just getting. I'm over here shaking. I'm like, dang. That's
the warrior energy.
So cool.
You know what I mean? Like, if you turn it on, it's
on.
on.
You see it on there?
We all have it, but it's dormant in some people. It's dormant, right?
It's activated right now.
Jiu-Jitsu activates. Anyway, so you fight through, like you have to, sometimes battle through your own inner demons, your own internal oppression to overcome and to succeed in Jiu-Jitsu and in life, basically.
Internal oppression, yeah, because I've heard, I'm being oppressed. I'm like, okay, and then move all of it off you. He's too heavy. Take his weight elsewhere.
Yeah. No, it's spirit, it's the spiritual energy. I can't take credit because my ego loves to take credit for things, but none of what I do, this warrior energy, this intelligence, whatever the greatest things that I, giving birth to children, all this stuff, it's like, it's an expression of divinity. It's beyond the person. It's transpersonal. It ever was, and it's just kind of running through me, but it will continue, and it's not really me doing it. That is the illusion, the illusion that we are doing it. It's all about, some people that are, religious, sometimes they do get it. It's like, okay, glory is to God.
Yeah.
Glory to God. So you get it out of your own ego, out of your own self, into your spiritual essence. So people sometimes don't understand there's 4 dimensions to the human being, right? I call it pies on my book that's coming out next year.
Woo, she got a book coming out. So yeah, you should
So we'll come back,
her.
Right?
Yes.
We'll come back when my book is done, but it's like pies is the acronym. So P is for physical. We get that, the physical dimension, right?
Like here.
Our body. No, physical, I mean the human being. 4 aspects of the human being.
Okay.
P is for physical body, the body, okay? We can see it, we get it, most people get it, it's not a mystery. Although most people don't even know how to manage that dimension alone. That dimension requires hydration, requires grounding, requires proper nutrition. People don't know how to eat, people don't know how to keep track of what they're eating, and in eating sugar and eating processed foods and drinking alcohol and doing a bunch of drugs is not how you take care of your physical body.
Yeah, you see her? look at her stacked out, look at her.
Anyway, so then that's the P for the physical body, okay? Nice. And then that's one aspect, which is the most common, most visible you can experience. So, and then there's the intellectual, I for intellectual, which is the mind, which I call like the thoughts, your cognitions, and your internal talk and all that. Your mindset lives in I, which is intellect. Ooh. Your mindset is a huge thing. It's right there. Because through your beliefs, right? Through your beliefs, you can totally create your life. The way we see ourselves, right? It's creating our reality. So, if you study hypnosis and hypnotherapy, you see that your thoughts and your beliefs, and if you really work on that, you can really change your life.
Yeah.
Right? So, the physical reality is nothing more than, I heard this today, physical reality, I think it was Yogananda, is nothing more than condensed thought forms into physical matter. So you have to work at the level of your thoughts. So that's why I went through hypnotherapy and things like that. A lot of the medicine and things that we take is a placebo effect. It's like we do an experiment. You take the real medicine. I take, I take the placebo sugar pill, and I get just as healed as you, or almost about the same. What is that? Is my belief that damn pill is a good pill. So the placebo effect is like, what are you thinking? What you think is good? What you think is bad? What you're thinking about yourself? How you see yourself in the world? Oh, if I think that all women are whatever, jealous.
Yeah.
If I think that all men are cheaters,
Yeah.
that's all you're gonna see. That's a basic example. So people have these global beliefs that really color their lives, and that's how they see the world, but we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. We see the world as we are. So the way you are is what you're gonna see. The world's a reflection of your thinking, of your beliefs. So that's the I, that's mindset. That's a lot of work right there. There's the body, there's the intellect, there's two more. E is emotions.
Oh, emotions.
Your emotional self.
So it's E, and then the S is spiritual.
Spirit.
Oh, I got
You got it.
No, okay.
You're
Sorry,
fully integrated
Oh
now.
my God. I'm
You're certified in the Montero method.
Oh,
the warrior
look at
champion.
the Montero method. I like
Yes,
that.
the Montero method. That's
Look.
what the book is called.
Oh, hey,
that's what's
awesome.
coming out. Yep.
That's okay. Go. Keep going.
So the emotions.
The E.
How do
Emotions.
we manage emotions? Nobody knows. People can barely manage their bodies, which is something that you can see, that you know,
Yeah.
it's tangible. You can touch, right? It's like, how do I manage my emotions? And the emotions, together with your thoughts, is what create your reality. So people don't know how to manage. So you're dealing with people that are emotionally deregulated. So they're, depressed, anxious, the negative thinking triggers their depression and their anxiety. I see so many people that suffer from mental health things, like all day, pretty much, and all the time. And it's a lot of it is a lack of focus and self-knowledge. Like, they're not focusing on their growth. They're not focusing on what they want. They don't know what they want. So is this personal growth, understanding yourself, understanding who you are, where you are, and what you want. Then you set the goal, and then you have something to look forward to. You create your own meaning. You know what I mean? You create, life is, you have to create your meaning so that you're growing. Like you said, you're learning. Remember that you like to learn.
Yeah.
If you stop learning, what happens? You die inside.
Yeah.
You start to die. You become old. Like old people, if they have nothing to look forward to, then they die, right?
It's like, I'm retired, and you just don't do anything else.
Yeah, if you just watch TV, it's depressing. The TV and the news will depress the heck out of you. So one of the things I tell my clients is that, if they have depressive thoughts, anxious thoughts, don't watch the news. You're gonna see 40-50% of your problems go away. Shut off the damn news.
And I would say it's not only on a TV, it's on your phone.
So you're having all these reactions.
Yeah.
Right, and so we live in fight or flight.
Yes.
Especially if you train jiu-jitsu too, like you're always kind of like, the fight or flight mechanism is not something that's supposed to be on all the time. If it's pressed on all the time and that button is broken in on position, that means your whole physical body is in high alert, everything is ramped up, so your immune system is compromised. This is too much cortisol floating around, and you're in hyper alert, right? Hypervigilance. Everything it's ramped up. So yeah, it's kind of like like PTSD and things like that. It's because it's like full on all the time. You're always fighting. You're always in alert. Or if you had a lot of trauma, like maybe it's not war trauma, but it's relationship trauma, childhood trauma. How to turn off this fight or flight mechanism, which has to do with your emotions, has to do with your biology. So these are all things that people can learn about, be interested about. If you don't go after, it's not going to come to you. What's going to come to you is bad news and more stress and bills and drugs and pills, and take this pill and all your problems will go away. No, do the inner work, do the grounding, clean up your nutrition, go in the sunshine, go be in nature, go forgive somebody. And then after you clean up all your aspects and then take inventory of your thoughts, take inventory of your emotions, then maybe if you need some medication, then we'll see. And then shut off the news, and then you see that maybe you don't even need, all that much outside of yourself. A lot of the stuff is inside of ourselves. Everything that we need, our resources, are internal.
Yeah.
Internal. Tap into your internal resources. Tap into your warrior energy. Tap into that, and then, for sure, you can win. You can win in life. You can win in your relationships. You can win in your business. and you can, help others. That's the full hero's journey. Like you start as a fool, and then you go about the village, and you slay the dragon. And you kind of suffer through the whole journey, and then you come back, John Campbell's, and then you come back, and then now you're the sage. Now you're the teacher. Now you're the black belt. Now you're helping others. So you go through the journey, right? This is like the spoiler alert for life. This is how it goes. And then at the end, this is the end of the movie. You are it. You're the teacher. You're the coach. You're the example. You're the mother. You're the leader. So you become the leader. You become that which is that you wish you had in order to help others, and then that will facilitate your own healing.
Speechless. I can't even speak on that. Like, shoot. Okay. No, that's awesome. I might have to, go way inside here because for me, I did not know, like, there were certain things you can do to kind of go inside. Of course, you have people who smoke and, all this kind of stuff. Okay, cool. But to actually do it and just be in tune with you is just huge.
Exactly. But you have to be open to that. You know what I mean? You can even come across this podcast or this information or
like,
a book.
Cool. Okay, that's cool.
And it's like, dismiss it. Just like a kid may dismiss a healthy meal for like total junk food. You know what I mean? Like all the time if you allow them. So we are kind of like unruly little kids in some ways. And if we don't reparent ourselves, right? We have to reparent. After you're an adult and you're a grown up, whatever happened in your life already happened. It's not about what happened to you, but it's about how you pivot off of that, how you use that to grow. Like turn the corner.
Yeah.
Like, double leg, 2 points.
Dang, look at her. She ready. Look at her. No, that's awesome.
Turn the corner, definitely.
Dang.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about.
Okay. Because I'm sorry. So some things you kind of, I guess, pet peeves. On
Jiu-Jitsu on the mat?
Yes.
I think like when you're new, you don't know that you can't step outside with no shoes and on the mat and back on the mat. Like
you bring the dirt on. I'm like.
So people don't know that. Like they go to the bathroom barefoot and come back, step on the mat. There's people that will do that.
Yeah,
like what I mean.
Yeah,
so that's one thing. Is like don't step on no shoes. Keep the mats clean because we don't want to get the skin stuff, disease, and so not every gym has those rules. I've seen that too. So when you look for a gym, how to find a nice gym? Make sure it's clean. It's clean. You know what I mean? If it looks dirty, if they don't clean every day, this mat was clean. You know what I mean? Every day, multiple times a day. But if you go to a place and it seems like they train and then everybody leaves, the mat it's not clean. It just sits there. Run. Run the other way. Okay. I've seen it, man. They're out there, and then you can get diseases, right? And then like everybody's it's contagious. Everybody's contaminated, and it's bad. So I think a clean gym is probably a good place to start. Make sure that your black belt, the black belt that runs it is really a black belt. There's some gyms that
I've heard. Okay.
That they may not be real black belts. Like, how do you know? Like, find out about the lineage. So find the history. So who is your black belt? Ask your black belt, who is your black belt? And then, seek it out. Like, find out. Like, there are different teams and different lineages. Like, so you can. If you want to be competitive, you want to find a competitive school that competes all the time. But if you don't want to compete, there are schools that there's some even that says keep it playful. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means that they don't like to compete and they don't like rough.
Easy on them. Easy on them. They're going to be... All right.
So you have to know where you are and where you're going. If you're a competitive person, don't go to a keep it playful gym. If you're a keep it playful person, no, don't go because
it's just bad?
It's not like it's bad.
It's not bad.
It's like you're in the wrong environment.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're going to be upset if you're competitive in their gym because you're going to be beating up on people and they're going to be like, We don't do that here, right?
Yeah,
so you're in the wrong place.
Wow.
So if you wanna, and if you're that kind of person that don't, just kind of wants to move and this and that and not really go for it full on.
And work? No, like, cause.
No, there's different people with different goals, right? So then they go to gyms that are not competitive and they're mellow. But if they're like that and they come to a gym that is competitive and it's tough, they're not gonna adapt.
Okay.
So it's about go where it's gonna be a good match for you. Don't just go wherever and think that it's a good fit. So just kind of shop around for gyms, right? And then know why you want to train and what your goals are, and then you're gonna be able to determine, do I go to this gym or that gym? Some places don't have choices. We're really blessed in Southern California.
Yeah.
Because we have many to choose from. Some places may not have that.
Yeah.
And you might have to put up with whatever. So then really know, move, if you have to, right? If jiu-jitsu is really important to you and you're in a place, there's only one gym and you go there, the gym is dirty, the coach, it's like not even a black belt. There's everything. Like in remote areas, it's not like here. And then you go there and it's like they're like doing karate, thinking that's jiu-jitsu, then just go somewhere else. Right?
Hush, hush, Jay. Hush, quiet. Jay, quiet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, yeah. You have to do your research.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Dang. Tips right there, tips. So, yeah.
Yep. Some gyms are like no gi only. So know what you like. Do you want to learn about the gi? Do you want to learn about no gi? Or you want a gym that has both? But if you like, some gyms are more like MMA style.
Yeah.
They're like an MMA gym. It's all about MMA, and then they have a little jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you're going to go to pure jiu-jitsu gym. Like, this is a pure jiu-jitsu gym. And that's good for me. But a person that's like MMA oriented, they want to go to an MMA gym. Well, maybe.
Ish, yeah, I would say here at first because it's all about,
here's jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu,
yeah.
And then you want to go somewhere else to throw hands and kick and, all
there's different approaches, right?
Yeah.
There's people that learn like Kyler.
Yes.
Which when he's a UFC fighter now.
Yeah.
He started here. He's like, I stepped in here, he was 15 years old.
Yeah, he's beast.
And when I stepped in here, like Chloe was like 18 years old. So now they're like all 30, they're all adults, and it's like, what happened to these kids? So they, like Kyler, he did wrestling at his wrestling high school. He did jiu-jitsu here, and then striking, at a, probably just because we didn't have it here. So now he's in UFC. So he learned the pure sport in each. So now, if you have the ability, his parents were very supportive.
Awesome.
And they could do that. And now you have to pay for 3 places and go to 3 places.
Yeah.
But if you're an MMA person and you don't have the time or the resources or the whatever that like Kyler did, Kyler's a phenomenon. Kyler the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Check him out.
No, it's good. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, so he's a teammate, and so some people will just find a gym that's an MMA gym, and then they have all the disciplines there. So that's why it's important you know who you are and what you want, because there's all this variation, right? Are you going to be like Kyler, that you learn all these different things, kind of MMA person? Or are you going to be, go to a pure MMA gym and then learn those things from there, that maybe you're not getting the full-on, detail of the pure art, but you're getting everything that you need in one place.
I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and this is super cool. And we all, I'm sure, we learned so much from you. And again, so like your book.
How long?
Yeah, the year or so. Ish, I'll say ish.
No, more like 6 months.
Sooner.
It's like, it's more than halfway done, so I just have to finish it.
Dude.
That's what I need to do.
So yeah, hop on her book, because I'm sure she's got some PIES. I'm on P still. Anyways, excuses, right?
No, you're healing from an injury.
Yes, I am. But
so if you get hurt, you have to take time off.
Yeah.
You can take time off, but you can come and watch.
Yeah.
You can kind of come once in a while and just watch what's going on. You don't need to drill, and you don't need to.
Itching though. You just be, do that.
Discipline. Don't disconnect. You know, if you're ask Tom, he's gonna say if you're hurt, if you're hurt, you don't quit jiu-jitsu. You keep and you come and watch.
Look at her.
You come and do some abs. You do
so
some
wise. Look at all this.
No, man, learn from Tom.
Look at her.
And Tom learned from Carlson Gracie Jr.
That's awesome.
Carlson Gracie Jr. learned from his dad, and you know, the knowledge just keeps going. I can't take credit. Yeah.
Well, you have to take some credit because like you have some stuff up in there going. Anyway, it's getting long. Sorry, guys. I don't think we're sorry because you guys learned a lot right there. I would hope. Like she's like, I don't know. Anyways, but thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for just sitting here and expressing all of your brain power, because it's up there for sure. It's awesome. But again, thank you so much.
Spiritual power.
Ooh, thank you so much for being here with us, and over and out on the Raw Grass Podcast.